He was born weak, but after being taken in by the strongest SS-rank magician with nothing but determination, he trained endlessly. His hands bruised, his body broken, but his spirit unshaken. Years passed, and the boy, who once couldn't cast a single spell, became a force to be feared. Yet, even his master didn't know. Hidden deep within him was a dark magic powerful enough to shake the world. It all begins in a ruined city where a woman finds a boy named Lloyd staring at something. It's not revealed yet what the boy is seeing, but the woman believes that with this kid on her team, she can win and defeat the demon lord. She lets go of her emotions and hugs Lloyd, who's still completely spaced out. Shortly after, she brings him to her house and shows him that she can summon fire from her hands using magic. This is the first time Lloyd witnesses something surreal like this. But the woman still tells him to replicate what she just did, or else he won't be getting any dinner. Without any instructions, knowledge, or anything at all, the boy tries, and by the end of the day, he actually succeeds in summoning a tiny ball of flames. The woman is impressed, but not enough, and she literally burns the boy in flames, telling him he still has a long way to go. The next morning, she teaches Lloyd how to summon water by kicking the ground in a certain way. And Lloyd does it on his first attempt, but he only manages to make the ground wet. So, the woman isn't impressed and punishes him by drenching him in a pool of water. She also teaches Lloyd wind magic. And as their training continues, in just a few months, Lloyd masters ice magic as well and manages to create an ice statue that looks exactly like the woman. Lloyd, who now considers the woman as his master, believes that he's finally managed to impress her. But the woman still isn't satisfied as she believes that the boy lacks power to show him the difference between their strength levels. She uses her magic to make the statue grab Lloyd, then increases its size before destroying it. Realizing how powerful his master is, Lloyd becomes determined to work even harder and continues to train restlessly. One day, his master drinks too much alcohol and falls ill because of it. Lloyd surprisingly heals her in an instant, indicating that she's taught him healing magic as well. She hugs him for healing her, but she claims that it's still not enough to impress her and immediately tells him to go do more magic training. After several months of training, Lloyd's master is seen holding a grimoire. She's worried about something and is caught off guard when Lloyd enters her room. The grimoire falls from her hands and as Lloyd picks it up for her, something triggers, causing the boy to faint. This phenomenon makes his master realize that Lloyd has the potential to become the chosen one, too. The way she phrases it makes it seem like she is also the chosen one, but I'm not entirely sure. Regardless, she doesn't want Lloyd to make the same mistake she did. She doesn't want him to grow overconfident in his abilities. So, she kisses him on the forehead while he's asleep, putting a spell on him that I'm guessing limits his powers. The next morning, she tells Lloyd about the term white mage. According to her, Lloyd too is a white mage, and mags like him generally perform helpful magic for the betterment of others. In any case, she gives Lloyd the task of using his healing magic on an apple tree to make the apple bigger. Lloyd does that, but his master demonstrates how she can effortlessly make the entire tree fill with apples. Later at night during Lloyd's magic lessons, he gets interested in a specific term called ancient magic. But his master tells him that he doesn't need to learn about such a thing as it went extinct centuries ago. She teaches him more complex magic, like space magic, which allows the user to unsummon and summon items at will. The training continues, and when Lloyd's master thinks she can take his training to the next level, she blindfolds him and brings him to an unknown forest full of monsters. She hands him nothing but a small kitchen knife and tells him to survive using magic. Then return home within a week. Wishing him good luck, she takes off at the speed of light, leaving Lloyd scared for life. Seconds later, a wolf monster enters the scene and chases Lloyd all around the forest. He manages to escape by climbing on top of a tall tree and wonders what he should do. Using his space detection skill, he locates his master's house far north from his location, then begins his journey there on foot. At night, Lloyd uses healing magic to ripen wild fruits, which he eats for dinner. He hides inside a small cave and starts working on a magic circle that might help him increase his physical strength. He creatively modifies all his spells so they can boost his base stats upon activation. The next day, as he ventures through the forest, he accidentally enters the queen spider's nest. As the spider attacks him, he runs in the opposite direction and by activating one of his modified spells, increases his speed by at least 10 times. In that one sprint, he reaches his master's home and faints at the front door from exhaustion. She opens the door and with a smile welcomes him back home. More time passes and Lloyd grows taller. He gains more freedom to explore his master's house. And one day while cleaning her study room, he comes across a book about cities. He gets interested in it as he's never experienced living in a populated place. In the meantime, his master starts experimenting with various things and makes him her personal apprentice, not allowing him to get a sound sleep for weeks. On this fateful day, the master wakes up and walks to the rooftop to meet Lloyd as usual. Her intention remains the same. Grill him severely until he can no longer walk. However, by the time she gets to the room, he isn't there. She sees that he was last reading a book and she looks at it. On the other hand, Lloyd finds his way into the city. It seems that is his first time getting into the marketplace and he can see several people. The crowd there amazes him. He barely even knows that there are that many people around him. It is amusing to say the least. He doesn't have a mission and he just hangs around. As he stands there, a flyer hangs on his face. He assumes it was just the breeze, but it wasn't. It is actually quite intentional as a man had thrown it at him. He picks it up and reads that a team is looking for an adventurer. Since he has nothing to do at the moment, he decides to go there and see what is happening. When he gets there, he sees they are having an adventurer party. The team is fighting with a monster and they are injured. The leader of the team is a hero named Alan, and he commands his mage to cast the recovering power. The mage immediately casts the power, and the fight continues. She also uses her power to bind the monster. So Alan can defeat it. Alan defeats the monster and the others go there to hype him up for his good works. Lloyd is bored of the entire scene, so he walks away. Outside, the villagers talk about how great Alan is and how he had just defeated the Cyclops of Abbott Castle with his team. The adventuring team gets to their lodge and Alan shares the money they had gotten. He gives Lloyd a token and Lloyd takes it without complaints. He tells Lloyd that the money is his portion as a D-ranked adventurer, but Lloyd isn't bothered. He just walks away without complaining. The other adventurers wonder why he is that proud and doesn't even speak. Alan and his pride says they don't have to worry about him because white mags aren't even important in quests. They are only there to increase the pride of the party. Lloyd hears this, but he isn't worried. He locks the door behind him and walks away. Meanwhile, his master receives a visitor at home. The visitor is the same man who had thrown the flyer at Lloyd earlier. He tells her that Lloyd had joined the heroes' party, and his master is glad about that. She doesn't have an issue with whatever he does with his life, as long as he doesn't get proud. The man asks her if she still regrets what happened to her, and she says she doesn't want it to repeat itself again. He reminds her that the Demon Lord wanted to self-destruct with the book if she had let him do that. They recall the day of the fight with the Demon Lord. Everyone had died and they saw Sybil stand up from the crowd and use the ancient magic to revive everyone that had died from the battle even at the expense of his life. At the moment, the hero party are having another fight. And even before the fight starts, everyone hypes the team up and says great things about them. They are all sure that the party will be winning the fight as usual. Without wasting any time at all, Alan finishes up the battle and returns home to a team screaming his name and pride. When they get home, the mage of the party, Sheena, takes it upon herself to read more because she feels they can get better. As she reads, Alan comes to meet her and wonders why she is taking time to read. She says it is because she feels their defense is getting weak. He doesn't feel the same. In fact, according to him, he is getting stronger. She complains that she hasn't seen him train again for some time, and he proudly says he has no reason to train because he is simply unstoppable. She looks at him without saying a word. That evening, the soldiers at the riverbank get attacked by a golem and they are all killed. The country immediately sends someone to Alan to inform him of the new mission and he accepts the mission to kill the golem. He goes to the river with his team and Lloyd uses his power to find out the location of the golem. By the time they attack the monster, they see another monster standing with a staff. Lloyd warns that the monster is a demon race, and his power is in the staff, which he is using to control the golem. Alan asks a member of the party, Lulu, to throw her arrow against the demon, which she does. And he also commands MIA to set out to fight, and she gets ready. He plans to forge ahead and fight the golem head-on. But Lloyd thinks it is a reckless attempt. He says he hasn't gauged the golem well and knows his strength, let alone weakness. So Alan should calm down. Alan reminds him that he is the leader of the party and he commands the team. Alan runs to fight, but feeling protective, Lloyd goes faster than him and pushes him from the golem. Alan pushes Lloyd away and attacks the golem, who dies immediately. This shows that Lloyd's prophecy of the situation was wrong and he isn't good. By the time they get home, Alan complains that Lloyd hadn't done anything for the party since he joined and had left all the recovery and healing work for Sheena alone. Because of that, he should leave the party. Lloyd admits that they may be right and he is indeed weak. So, he leaves as the other members of the party celebrate the good riddance to his rubbish. For 3 days, he tries getting another party to join to no avail. After another disappointing no from a party, he overhears a lady screaming that she needs an unaffiliated white mage and she needs it as soon as possible. The guild attendant asks her if she wants Lloyd. She turns to Lloyd, asks him if he is unaffiliated, and when he says yes, she drags him away and runs with him. What does Lloyd's future say? Will he eventually know how strong he is?